All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. So let's get started here. Come on over to our solar report here. If we can get this set up here real quick. I want to point out that Seeds wasn't up and running today. If we could get that pulled up here, please, Lord. Come on. Alrighty, off to a great start, I can see. Bear with me as the computer tries to catch up with whatever I'm trying to do here. Come on, really? I'm trying to do my show here. Oh, so frustrating. I set up all this stuff to get it going so it runs nice and smoothly, and we have hiccups. Come on, computer. What is going on here? All right, well, at least we got this back. All right, as you can see here, these last 2 days have not been filled in by this by the George Mason University here. Okay, the people that run this site. So, but there is data out there. I did show you stereo A from last night, real quick. Here we are, 1/1/24. I'll just 5 frames here, real quick. Wow. We'll try to start it. You know what? Never mind. Let's just go on over to this instrument instead. If we can get this one to work. There we go. So here we have the 131 pulled up. Let's just come on over here real quick to this is stereo A from today. And what I wanted to show you real quick, if we can get it pulled up, is this little guy right here. This little black round spheroid wrapped in plasma right there. Let's see if we can kind of get some. No, right there. I guess without the wavy lines. Let me move this back and forth just a little bit for you here, and you can see. Whoops. Today's activity. Boom. We're missing some data there. That's the reason for the skip. So this is 1800, 1900. There's the very beginning right there. Sorry, that's so 053. We have this little object right here, enveloped in plasma, moving on out. That was trailing the X flare, probably, possibly one of the M flares that we had following it. We also have a lot of missing data here. So it jumps from 4 all the way back. So we're missing data there on that one. Let's go over to SDO, the 131 here. Kind of wanted to point out here real quick where these latest M flares are coming off of. It appears one of them. Well, let's come back to it. Here, this. It would be nice if I could have a little bit more room for my mouse here, Brian. All right, here we go. I'm trying to get this to play forward here so you can see where our X flare come off of this region right here. And we had some crackling over there, but where is it? Right around. Oh, this thing's being too jumpy to get it to play smooth. You know, I can never have anything just work smoothly. It all has to be so hard, difficult. Can't just get anything to there. Right there is where our possible other little M flare came from. All right. So we might have a little bit more energy on the way after that X flare. All right. That's what I was trying to show you. But screw it. Let's just come on over to this instrument. Getting frustrated already. So earlier today, I was checking in over here. We had a time where there was blue going across the top and yellow going across the bottom. Now it's not red like we see sometimes, but yellow is right here on the graph. And we had yellow across the bottom and blue, this color blue, was going across the top. So we did have an absorption event today. It's already over. Nobody really screen captured or captured it or whatever, but we did take on a little absorption event today in front of this X flare. Okay. So let me back out of this. You can see here's our GOES X-ray flux up here in the corner. Let's just back out of this real quick and go over to the regular one here. Also want to point out here some red going on. We got X flare potential up to 25%. We also have a beta delta configuration on that sunspot. And this is old sunspot 3514, the one that fired an X flare at us 2 weeks ago, or what, a week ago or whatever. So it's the same sunspot. It made around the backside. It's the one that got so big it changed the frequency of the sun, and now it's rotating around our way and has fired off this X flare already, and what appears to be a couple of little M flares right behind it. Okay, after that, it's been kind of smooth and calming down. That's good. All right. This thing over here for January 2nd, I have a feeling G1 isn't enough. It might be a G2 storm when this hits. A lot of corrections have been made as far as the timing, and typically they take 3 days, but X flares are a more powerful punch. They travel faster sometimes, not every time, but sometimes they do. This one appears to maybe traveling faster and arrive sooner. So it's not a set science. The 2 to 3 days, it just really depends on the velocity of the explosion, right? And then there could be other CMEs or other stuff in the way that could slow it up. You know, they could cannibalize, they can merge, they could, that's what slows stuff up. There's no exact timing. We just try to do our best here. It's roughly 2 to 3 days, but this one will seem to impact maybe a little earlier. Over here, here's our little spike we saw in KP index right here. This is pre-impact of the X flare. Okay, this was our little absorption event that we had earlier today, and then come over here to our auroras. They're really light right now, which is good, but that's like the precursor to the inbound wave that's coming. All right, now that's good. We're not absorbing a bunch. Now here comes all the important part. Let's get over here to the tracker, and they've changed the tracker since last night. I think we should all breathe a sigh of relief that it got changed from what it was last night. And why is it not opening the regular one? Please, Lord. It was just here a little while ago. It was just there a little while ago. Anyways, right here, let's just peek at this one real quick. Here, they're showing impact kind of splitting again, and some going above and or some going to the left and to the right of the Earth. But here, it's still showing a good impact. Let me try to get this one more time here. There it is. All right, let's open that puppy up. And they're still showing a big healthy CME coming off of this, okay? So this X flare does have a lot of potential in it. Now, boom, it's showing it more going away and very barely clipping us. Hopefully that's the case. I pray to God that that's the case and we dodge a major impact from this. But I know we're still going to receive some because we saw it. It was the X flare absorption that hit us is still, that still puts us in range of the CME. All right. Let's do this one as well because this one's the NOAA forecast. And we'll let this load up real quick. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, everybody, for coming by tonight. I hope everybody's having a happy new year. I know some of you could sense a change in the vibe this year, especially with the X flare and the corresponding earthquake. All right, so here we go. When it goes by again, the density they're saying is lower because we're catching the edge of it. Now, when this thing erupts, it shows it kind of splitting, a big portion going one side of us. Oops, right in there. That's above us and below us. Here it shows us skirting it by it skirting us to the south here a little, or to the east, I guess it would be. So one more time right there. Okay, and it's still, even if we're getting the little side of it, it's still going to be energy that hits us and that we'll have to absorb. Okay, hopefully it's not a bunch, but it's going to be an impact either way, and we will have to absorb more energy. The timing now, look at this, between the second and the third, right here. Well, that's on stereo B. Right here on A and Earth, they're showing just a little bit after 2, about what, a third of the way between the second right there and the third. So brace for impact, everybody. And you know what impact means. That means absorption, that means swelling, and that means earthquakes and volcanoes and possible tsunamis. Okay, so let's back out of that real quick. I'm glad it adjusted, and last night's showed more of a front-on brutal impact, which we didn't need. So that's a little sigh of relief. Thankfully, the instrumentation was wrong, or the first calculations. You know, this second calculations might be wrong as well. They might be downgrading this so you won't freak out or whatever. But we all know an X flare has a lot of potential. It's part of it's heading our way. All right, it's not going to kill us. It's not going to take the grid down probably, but it will affect the planet in the ways that we understand. All right, so let's just move on here. Oh wait. We'll read this one. All right. Here we go. Geomagnetic Stormwatch update. Improved models of yesterday's X5 class CME suggest the storm cloud will merely graze Earth on January 2nd. However, even a grazing impact from such a powerful explosion can cause a geomagnetic storm. A G2 class Stormwatch remains in effect. See, I agree with them. G2. The other one said G1. I think it's going to be a G2 as well. Okay, I think it's going to be a little bit stronger than just a little brushing, because when you look at this, you can clearly see this. All the light that's coming off of this right here is coming at us. So all this impact from this angle is still coming at us, even though most of it's kind of going off to the left and out of the screen. This edge is still going to hit us. And you can tell because we can see the light right here from it. If it wasn't going to hit us, it would be around the limb. All right. And so that guarantees that we're going to see part of it. Okay. And when it hit, the absorption of it, where'd that little map go again? Come back to this one. Back out of this. This, where'd you go? This right here. If we could get that pulled up for me, please, Lord. Oh, one of these days, if I have high speed capacity, watch out, people. I'm gonna have a lightning quick show. All right. Anyways, I wanted to get out of that. Just kind of point out this little map here. This is a prime example of the impact we're going to take. All right. This is evidence of what we're going to take. And this reached a R3 level radio blackout. All right. So that potential to go that high, R3, is out there. All right. When the CME comes at us from this angle, we're going to catch this edge of it. And you can clearly see by the definition, it's very bright, has a nice X shape. That doesn't mean it doesn't designate it as exaflare, but as you can see, we have a very powerful, nice, strong X flare right there. All right. And if that's the absorption that we got at flare, we're going to see similar absorption at CME impact, regardless if we catch the edge or not, is what I'm trying to say. All right. Now, I want to read this too. Um, ringing in the new year with a bang. Also, ringing in the ear with a bang. Have you folks had some ringing in the ears lately since this X flare went off? I'm just wondering if any of you have noticed ringing in the ears while ringing in the year with a bang. Now, the strongest solar event of the current solar cycle, a major X.5 solar flare, was observed around AR 3536, X 3514. 3514 was the one that caused the last X flare. Okay. Coronal dimming is evident, and a coronal mass ejection will be launched into space because the active region is still located close to the limb. Most of the plasma should be directed away from our planet. Despite this, an Earth directed glancing blow may still be possible. More to follow. Where was it that I saw the one little article? Oh, I guess it's in the next one. All right, let's move on. Big sunspot region. I think it was this one that was talking about. Oh, well, anyways, here's this. Yeah, watch this as it comes around the limb right here. All right. Once it breaks this limb, now we're in range because it comes off 360 degrees in all directions. So once it clears that limb, we can potentially catch the edge of it. All right, that's not what I wanted, but I guess it's not there anymore. Nope. I guess it's not there anymore. If this strongest flare of the solar cycle 25 so far and the most powerful eruption the sun has produced since the great storm of September 2017, since the great storms of September 2017, where we had biblical signs in the sun, it's reminiscent of that. Here's your solar tsunami that was captured. You can see the shock wave travel across the surface of the sun right there. That's a beautiful shot right there. So the sun can cause tsunamis, but on the surface of the sun. All right. So there's a solar tsunami caused by our X flare. Okay. And that's a big impact. It affects us as well. All right. Let's see. What else do I want to It's not here. Oh, well. Let's just move on. Now let's come over to the Schumann. And, now do you think you know why your ears are ringing? Or if you feel that? Okay, interesting how this is working out. We had our grinding event. We came out of it. Can we get these ads out of here, please, Lord? I just really don't need them. All right. So we had our grinding event going on. We came out of it kind of weak, pulled out of it. Then we had another weakening spot right here. Kind of came back to life. Then we had our X flare. And we started to absorb energy from just the flare. That absorption loop that I showed you from the flare. We started to grind, and we started to grind pretty good. And then we had our earthquake, and the pressure relieved for a minute, and then it starts to grind again. All right. Right now, just recently, we're coming out of it. Let me refresh this. I think we should have a couple more bars added on there since refresh it there. Sorry. Okay, you can see these last few segments have been added on, but there was our pressure building up. Boom, we had our earthquake, the pressure released, and then starts to build back up again. And we continue to have earthquakes through all this time, right through this period, and now it's starting, the pressure's starting to relieve again, and sure enough, the quake session there is dying down. Okay, this is the results of the X flare hitting us. All right, wait until the CME hits us. Okay, so hopefully we do just get a glancing blow. We don't want to see this, but I have a feeling it'll be a little bit stronger than this. If this is just from the flare, we're so close. That boundary between the core and the shell is so close now that even just the energy from the flare causes a big hiccup like this, okay, and kicks out a 7.5. All right. So we're coming out of it a little bit. You can see it's dying off. We're still grinding right here. At this frequency, it's still occurring, but we're slowly coming out of it. That's an impact right there. And the skip in it is the release from that earthquake. That earthquake and the series of them right away relieved that pressure. But then when it slowed down and stopped, that pressure built up again. And we continued to have quake after quake after quake. And then all of a sudden the pressure's relieved some more. I bet a bunch of volcanoes went off today too. So that's what I don't have pulled up is the volcano report. All right, so we're kind of relieved of pressure right now. Okay, everybody can breathe a sigh of relief. It's over for the moment here. We took on an X flare and absorbed it and had some results. Okay, let's move on now over to our the reason for our title tonight, our bipolar vortex. I remember I was worried about this red part getting strong and connecting to the red part. Well, now it's purple. And now the purple has connected to the purple. And we're talking higher wind speeds with these colors, okay? Look at how more organized this vortex is. Red all the way around, mostly purple all the way around, okay? So it's no longer fighting for dominance. Whoops, let's see if that can catch up. It's a bipolar vortex, all right? Now, something I want to do while we're here and try to clear things up a little bit because it's a little misleading sometimes. Here we have our bipolar vortex. In fact, you know what? Okay, that's good enough. Let's kind of put it like this because I'm going to go through years now and I want you to see the change. All right. So we're going to go over to the calendar and we're going to pop open 2023, this day in 2023. Now watch the difference. Okay. Let me take this down. Now we have one main vortex, very dominant, under control, very smooth. But look over here. Down over here in Africa, there was a sub-vortex at this time of year, small, but still has red down here in intensity, okay? But mainly polar vortex right here, and it's right over the North Pole, okay? So now we're going to go back another year. That was 2023. Now we're going to go back to January 1st of 2022. Now here we have a lopsided polar vortex, similar to the lopsided one we have now, with a sub-vortex over here. Not too much strength. Now let's go back another year, January 1st, 2021. Now what do you see? Now you see another bipolar vortex. This one it has purple in it. It's very strong. It's over a different region though. Okay, it's shifted. It's in a different pattern. It's a similar pattern, but shifted over a different region. Okay, so the bipolar vortex at this time of year is not totally strange and out of character. It does happen, but usually a good round healthy vortex is what kind of should be established by now. Anyways, we're going to continue to go backward in time now. So let's go to 2020. Now watch. All right. Here we go with a more dominant polar vortex, but it has a sub vortex. All right. With red in it, pretty, it's still a split vortex there. This one mainly dominant. And you can see a sub one over on the left side here as well. And then let's continue going backward in time as we go forward in this video. 2019. Now look at 2019. Whoa. Pretty weird at that time. Now let's go take a peek at what it looked like in 2018. You guys finding this fascinating? Good. I hope this is working. Now here we go with a more stable, dominant vortex with a small sub vortex here. Still something there, but pretty dominant right there for that year. Let's go back to 2017. Okay, now look at 2017. One dominant vortex. Okay, so it goes year to year. Some years we have one dominant vortex, other years we get the split bipolar vortex. Let's go 2016. See the difference? Very big, very dominant vortex, but a small, subtle, strong one on the side here. Let's go back even a little bit further. 2015. Now look at, here we go with the oblong one again. So we go through these cycles of a regular, then a regular with a small vortex, then an oblong with a vortex, then back to, regular with a small vortex, and back to round, and then back to oblong. So we go through this little cycle, okay? And now let's continue going on here. We got a few more to go. I think this is the last one, actually, 2014 right there. Now look at that one in 2014. That was insanity there that year. I don't think 2013 works. Yeah, it doesn't work. All right, so let's go back now to 2024. And compared to all of those, this one isn't all big. It all flattened out. It was for a minute, but this is a different little scenario, okay? It's kind of different than all the other ones we've seen. Here we have two smaller, more compact vortexes that are kind of getting equal in size. Hi, Signs and Wonders. Thank you for coming by. I like your new little blue suit you got there. All right. So there's our polar vortex here. And then what I want to talk about here as well is this is the hedge of protection being placed over the United States. I can hear prayers for a hedge of protection over the United States, and that's answered prayer right there, because it's all going to the rest of the other half of the planet here, dipping down into, northern parts of Africa, going up through Europe, boom, 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 up through Germany, up to the North Pole and stuff. And then taking that cold air and bringing it down and wrapping around into China and stuff. So this is going to cause major headaches for our weather. Okay, this is the upper polar vortex, and it affects down lower the upper jet stream. Here's your upper jet, and you see how gnarly and tangled and bowed and swoop and stuff it is, right? That's because we have backward flow up above it. So there we go. There's your West Coast kind of storm coming in right here, shunting energy up that way. Now it's really starting to pull stuff together here at Baja, Mexico, and get this flow going across the Gulf and out over into Europe here. Okay, so while we're here as well, we need to go take a look at our SO2. We haven't taken a peek at that in a minute. We'll take the winds off. This is a good indicator of your pressure down below. Okay. Years ago, this map was all just white. All right. There, every once in a while, there was like 3 little brown dots like this, tiny little dots too. They were like tiny, like this size. 3 of these little dots, 4 of them running down California. And I think it was like BP Earthwatch or Mr. MBB found it and pointed it out, and everybody freaked. Now look at the map. Everybody should be freaking, but no one's paying attention. Anyways, we have SO2 still coming out of half the country over here, kind of divided still. But the coloration is a little lighter. Okay. Actually, I want to get we get the wavy lines. I'm trying to get the coloration honestly for you, because when I do that, it looks darker on the screen, but I got to do it for the wavy lines. All right, let's just continue on. I want to get on over here to China, because look what's going on over here. Actually, the coloration is right, I guess. We're looking at black, dark purple, and black patches here. That's an indication of pressure down below. We have a lot of pressure underneath, especially underneath China right here, all right? And a lot of this SO2 is emitting from the ground right there. Little do they know they're being poisoned to death slowly with sulfur dioxide, okay? And that's indicator of pressure down there. They're going to have an earthquake here pretty soon as well. Let's come over to Japan here, where we had our quake. All right, here's Japan. Not as much pressure. Let me see if we can get these wavy lines out of there a tad bit better. All right, got to sacrifice some stuff for a better quality. Anyways, still pressure underneath Japan. You see this? Here's the little peninsula that had the quake. All right, so not as much pressure right there. That's for sure. Okay, but just right across from it is that big old monster in China. All right, so I don't think they're aware of how they're going to pay dearly here. Down here in Java as well, the purple island of Java is coming back to kind of the purple island of Java again. Main part is right up here, but you can see we're starting to fill in here, starting to get more and more SO2 emissions out of that island. Up here, right where my arrow, well, let me go in here. This is the new Marapi volcano, right in this region right here. The other one? What other one, Lord? Oh, the other sulfur, yes. We're going to take a look at now at sulfur quad oxide, SO4, okay? Now, this emits from the ground, and it's also man-made as well. All right, and you can see China has a lot of this coming out of the ground right there, okay? Same with India. But look over here in America. Just a tiny little bit coming out over here on the East Coast. So, a lot of differences between this half of the world and this half of the world. Oh, do I have to tell them? Okay. All right. The thing about this, I knew this was coming. All right, the thing about this chemical, this is SO4. I want you to look over here real quick at this. See this right here? Oh, come on, can you? Right there, SO4EX means the extinction aerosol, but it's still a sulfate. It's SO4, all right? Now, SO4 likes to bond with water, which is H2O. And when water and sulfur bond together, when H2O adds to SO4, you get a compound called H2SO4, which is better known as sulfuric acid. And what you're looking at is all this sulfur will be combining with water in the atmosphere, water in the oceans, water everywhere. This planet is covered in water. When this compound, SO4, combines with that water. We're talking acid rain in your storms. See these storms right here that come in? They're packing acid rain. And it gets swooped up in the storm systems and gets deposited on the ground. That's why they don't want you collecting your rainwater, because it's got sulfur in it. And something else that you got to be pretty advanced in chemistry, but it's hard to perform in the lab, but at certain concentrations, when added correctly, when I think it's when you add sulfur to water, not when you add water to sulfur. There's two different ways to mix this together. And I believe it's when you add sulfur to water in certain concentrations, it becomes explosive, highly explosive, and it crackles and snaps. So if this starts to bond with water in the air, it could literally start the air on fire, and the air could start snapping and crackling and sparking with SO4 compound emission sparkles. Weird. Anyways, let's go back to the SO2. All right, so there's your pressure building up underneath there. Okay, let's come on over to our quakes. Let's see if we have a little uptick. It should be quiet now. Yeah, it's kind of quieted down now. There's no recent quakes for a minute now. Let me get that camera better. Yeah, bumped it. All right, everybody wants to know about this region, so let's just get into it. Now, what I see here. All right, this could have been a lot worse. Last night, I was talking about at this time tomorrow, we would see possibly 50 to 100 quakes in this region. And we're close, but not 100, all right? We could count them all, but let's just start going through them here a little bit. Way up north, you're 4.6. These are what they're ranging from, 4.6, 4.5s. Okay, a lot of mid-range 4s. There's a 5 there. We go in, but look at the diversity of them. They all didn't land right here on land where the big one was. Whoops. They're out in the water as well. Oh, the big one came off the map now because it's older than 4 hours. Some of these 4.5, 4.4, 5.6 was this one, I believe. Come back, yeah. All right, so mid-range 5 to mid-range 4s, but they're kind of stopped for right now. Notice how there's a little pocket of them down here as well, ranging from 5.4 to 4.6, 4.3 there. Even out in the water here, 4.2 and 4.3 there. This is out in the water, 4.6. Let me get back to... It seemed to have taken the big quake off. I'm going to change this up real quick to 7-day right there, bing, so we can get our big quake back. All right, so centered right on the tip of the island right here. Most of these quakes, all the aftershocks were out away from it, even further down the island and stuff. So interesting quake pattern. But thankfully, we didn't have 100 quakes, and we didn't see a bigger one than the 7.5, because that could have been a precursor to a bigger quake. All right, now with this new energy coming in, expect to see this continue to go here pretty soon. Right now, we have a break. Remember, I showed you this little break right here. We're having a break in the pressure now, so the earthquake activity is kind of stopped for a little while. We'll see it kind of take a break for a little while until we see another round of pressure come in. Whoops. I want it back to this one. Close that out. All right, so back to today's stuff. We did have a few down in here. Let's just go right to this. 4.7 at a depth of 134. Here we have a 5.0 at a depth of 10. And clear out here at the tip of Java, we have a 4.5. Right out here, I think that's Semeru. This is the volcano out here. And then this is where Krakatoa is right here. So a little bit of energy being released in that area. That's good. It's probably relieving pressure in the region, saving this side from having a big earthquake, right? Ooh, we just had something drop off right there in Africa. 4.6 at a depth of 71 here. And now let's go see what just happened here. We were talking about Morocco. There's a 4.6 in Morocco. Depth of 10. Now, this is, we were talking about Morocco because it had the cloud over it. Okay, so watch out for Morocco. They just had a little 4.6 right here. This region is susceptible to earthquakes. All right, so they had a big one, a couple months ago out here. So unsended signs. All right, a little bit of pressure still around. It's still setting off quakes in diverse areas. I was looking up diverse today, and it means places where you didn't expect. You know, all these other places that we keep going over, we expect to see them here. We expect to see them along the fault lines, right? We expect to see them at fulcrum points and, you know, especially this area. Look where we got 4 plates. You got this plate coming in. There's a boundary going right through Japan right here, right by our big quake. All right. This is like a plate right here. There's a plate down here. There's a plate up here. And then there's a plate here. We got 4 plates all intersecting here, cracking and pushing around Japan here. And that's where we expect to see this stuff, right? Is at fulcrum points where we always see them happen around Fiji with our deep quakes, right? But you don't really expect to see them out here, right? That's a diverse quake where you don't expect it. Then watch out. Actually, Iceland should calm down for a minute because of our pressure has calmed down. They probably saw some activity as the pressure increased, but it's dying down. Let me see. I got to take out one of these sites here. Let's take out that one because I want to open up the volcano page, and it takes a lot of the computer up or whatever. It just seems to open up better without all this stuff in it. All right, bear with me here. We're going to try to open up volcano report real quick. So, guys probably weren't surprised to see that quake right after the X flare. You know, people at my channel understand how this works, and also what I was going to talk about was those M flares that are trailing behind. Expect those will be new little pulses of energy that will absorb and create more earthquake and activity. So right now we're getting a breather. Look up here. Whoops. You can't see it. It says 26 erupting volcanoes and it disappeared. All right. Let's just open this up. Currently 26 erupting volcanoes that are currently erupting. All right. Here we go. Try to get some waving lines out. Already into January 2nd, we have Fuego, Popo, Ibu, Reventador, Senge. It's on, baby. All right. Suwanosejima. Ibu, 10,000 feet. Luato B, 9,000 feet. Popo, 20,000 feet. Fuego, 15,000 feet. Nevada del Ruiz, 23,000 feet. See, we're getting up there. Some of these blasts are up there. Sangay, Ash Advisory, Reventador, 15,000 feet. Sabancaya, another Ash Advisory. That was just for the second already, and we're only a couple hours into it. So let's just open up the 20s or the first and see what happened the first day of 2020. Kloichevsku, huge eruption right there, 23,000 feet. Ebico back on the map again. Sakurajima back on the map again, 7,000. Suwanosejima still. Ibu. Here's Ibu. 10,000. Luatobi. 8,000. Semaru. 15,000. Okay. That right at the tip of the peninsula there. I was showing you the pressure, and there's 15,000 foot blast right there. Whoops. Continue. Ducono. Popo. 22,000. Santa Guido, 15,000. Fuego, 15,000. Nevada, Del Ruiz, 22. 14,000 for Revenador. Revenador back on there. Look at that. Sabancaya. And there's your list of active and potentially coming on to the active list. Not going to name them all off, but expect when we have pressure, expect to see some of these that are on this list jump over to that list. Ones like Mayone that skip back and forth. Nevada Del Ruiz. Look, it's on this list, but we just read about the blast. So, boom, put it over on that list. See what I'm talking about? Some of these that are on this list should be over there. Just watch. Rika Hanus, all right, is back on the, semi-active list. Any kind of pressure comes in, as soon as we absorb something, watch out for Rika Hanus, okay? Ubinus as well. Ulawan, this is like the hidden one. This is the biggest blast we had this year, came out of Ulawan. Very quiet, sleeping giant type. Sometimes when it comes to life, it has a big blast. And Villarica has been jumping back and forth every once in a while as well. So there's your volcanic report and everything as well. Let me even open up a weather report, and we'll get to that because I'm sure it has changed now. And we need to see changes. Nothing stays the same. We are in a state of constant change. And when you learn how to adapt to changes, they're not so scary. All right, we're just going to let that. Whoop. Oh, we'll let that roll for a second. See the changes. Wow. Look at that, you guys. So basically, those two storms are still there. Some of the dynamics of them have changed a little bit, but the actual two storms themselves are still there. So let's oopsie, let it go ahead. All right. Opening frame right here, current conditions. Let me get this just a little bit better like that for you guys. I think that's better. All right, so current conditions the night of the 1st. We're going into the morning of the 2nd. There's noontime. There's noontime right there. This thing's skippy. Noontime, then convection right there, January 2nd, with this stuff coming up into Texas, okay? Also, the storm coming on shore. This is when we have the inbound energy from the X flare hitting us. So this might blossom a little bit harder, but it's not in severe stage, so I don't expect too much out of it, really. This is coming on shore. It could enhance this. So let's watch that a little bit as we get into the night of the 2nd. There's a chance for severe weather along the foothills of the Sierras with heavy snow in that region. So this might be our event to watch for, is over here. Over here. We do that. That works a little bit better. So boom. This is the time we still have that energy maybe coming in. This is the morning of the 3rd. All right. It's supposed to come in midday the second between, but it could still be a little late and hit around here too. So you see this blossoming here offshore coming into Louisiana. That's the morning of the 3rd, going into the noontime as it skirts the coast there. That's the end of convection right there with snow through the region here going into the Rockies. We go into the nighttime of the 3rd, rainy out here, not too bad. A little bit of scattered snow there. Morning of the 4th, noontime, the end of convection, nighttime, morning of the 5th, noontime, convection. All right, here we go. So noontime right here, January 5th, depending on what comes off the sun on the 2nd, which will be whatever happens today on the sun. If it's calm, it won't affect the weather this much this day. If we see something come off, it might enhance this. Anyways, let's continue on. Might. There's a lot of mights, but we got to be careful and just prepare in case, all right? Not freak out, but prepare. Just be ready. Whoops. Whoa, 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 whoa. Because things could get out of control and get out of your hands real quick. Like that. All right, now back to where I was. There's the noontime, all right? It's starting to blossom. It's starting to get severe here. Then as we go into convection, look at how it blossoms. This area of severe weather blossoms. So we have the chance for possible tornadoes here this day. As it gets into the nighttime, it's still there. It doesn't dissipate. And as we get into the morning, it enhances. It actually gets stronger from nighttime to morning. This enhancement where um, from nighttime into the morning, it's convecting at nighttime. All right. So there's the morning of January 6th with severe weather going into Alabama and Georgia right there. Then going up into Tennessee through through the noontime with snow on the backside. Look at the snow coming into Illinois, Ohio, even a little icing in between there at noontime. Then we hit the end of convection. This is when it should be kind of at its strongest right here, and it's scooting up the coast, and it's hitting what Kentucky, Maryland, Pennsylvania, all that region right there with severe weather. Then we get into the nighttime of the 6th. Most of it's kind of offshore, but still snow back on that side. The morning of the 7th, noontime, it's pretty much out of there. We got another low jumping in over here. There's the night of the 7th, morning of the 8th, noontime, convection. We got to back up because right here, our warm, moist air coming up to this cold air mass, and they kiss. Mwah! And then they make babies. And at convection, 4 p.m. sundown, January 8th, we're going to have this serious storm coming together here, starting off its activity. It's severe activity here in Oklahoma, possibly up into Kansas, still skirting down into Texas there. Then as we go into the nighttime, this is where it gets dangerous. The nighttime of the 8th here, where it's going up from Oklahoma into Arkansas. All right. So nocturnal thunderstorms, nocturnal tornadoes, this stuff that jumps out in front of the main boundary right here, this is the dangerous stuff right here. So these pop-ups, watch out, Mississippi and Alabama, right in that region, those pop-ups at night, I'm telling you, and see how all this energy jump forward to the pop-ups in the next frame right there. Then it turns red. That's morning time again. That is 4 a.m. in the morning. Are you guys seeing that time up there? Just barely. That's going to be 6 a.m. out there. So the morning of the 9th, everybody in the south, hold on. Everybody up in this region for the day of the 9th, because it starts off in the morning with a vengeance right there going boom. Look at this. That's the noontime. I don't even want to name off all the states. Here, let's just zoom in on it for a minute and let you guys take that in for a second while I go have a cigarette. No, I'm joking. Oh boy. The whole mix, especially high winds, power outages, snow, uh, severe weather in the core of it. Okay, really severe weather, heavy snow, icing events scattered all about. Okay, and that is going to be I think that was the nighttime. No, that's the noontime out there. All right, now let's go to convection. Good Lord. By the time convection comes along, this thing has turned into a land hurricane with 975 millibars in the center. Just out of curiosity, what was it there? 977, 989. No, wait. 990. I'm just kind of looking at it. 982, 977, and 975. That's going to be like a category 1 hurricane, but in a land in the 972. That's crazy. So let's back up here. This right here is the end of convection for January 9th. Just a huge shotgun blast to pretty much the whole East Coast here. Everybody in that region, hold on, prepare for the 9th, get your batteries, get your candles, get gas for your generators, however you're going to need to survive a winter type nor'easter that is still on land. That's like a land hurricane. Hello, Michael Mullen. Hello. See all kinds of people hopping in here. Cool. We got some new people. Yeah. And they're brave enough to talk in the chat. Yay. All right. Back to business, though. We're talking Pennsylvania. It's going to hit New York. It's going to hit all the East Coast. We're going from Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, going up into New York. This is just going to be a storm on steroids. That is the nighttime. All right, it's going to hit Long Island, New York, and this whole Philadelphia, Boston, the whole region right there at nighttime with severe weather. And we're talking severe weather. That imagine tornadoes in downtown New York City. We're going to see some weird stuff this year, you guys. All right, that's the nighttime of the 9th. There is the morning of the 10th. Whew. Look at how tight all these millibars is. The wind in this thing is going to be off the hook. That is 10 a.m. or the noontime, the 10th. It finally clears out of there by convection. And now I need a cigarette. Wow, that was amazing. I'm just going to blow through the rest because there's not much really there to report on. This is too far out in the future, but watch. Another low picking up moisture. You see the tail? The tail, it hasn't connected, but it has this energy. It reaches down and sucks moisture up to it, and they'll probably kiss right out there in the ocean. And they're out of there. So, major storm coming. Major storm. It's that thing right there. And then also this as well. This first little starting right here, the noontime of the 5th in Texas. Then as it goes again, one more time. I'm sorry I have to do this twice, but this is important. This is the convection, the 5th, night of the 5th, morning of the 6th, noontime, the 6th, convection, the 6th, nighttime of the 6th, morning of the 7th, noon, and it's out of there. Okay, the next one, starting right there at noon, the 8th, right here by convection, they kiss, they start making babies, and boom, here we go. That's the night of the 8th, morning of the 9th, morning of the 9th. Everybody take note, morning of the 9th, the whole day of the 9th. That's noon, that's convection, that's the nighttime. and the next morning. So the 9th from on the 9th, everybody from Texas. Actually, Texas is out of the picture. Starting, well, actually, they get into the picture a little bit the 8th, right there. So starting late on the 8th, going mostly a little bit at night, and then bang, the morning of the 9th, all the way through the day, this thing is going to kick the East Coast's ass. I'm sorry to have to say it that way. That's what came out. Wow. All right. Enough of that. You guys can come over to this instrument as well, take closer looks at it. It'll be updating even more. That is not set in stone, but that is getting very close. And each model run continues to verify and show enhancements, subtle changes, but it's still on path. And a lot of other weather forecasters are bracing for this as well. And we're going to be watching the sun very closely because any timing, I have a feeling this is forecasting a little bit what might be happening to the sun here soon as well. These things kind of work forward and reverse as well. I think sometimes the storms are hinting at what might be yet to come on the sun as well. We'll see. We'll see. But this time frame on the 9th, that would put the 6th. Anywhere on the sun, any activity on the sun on the 6th will influence that right there. So let's pray that that doesn't happen. This is already bad enough as it is. We don't need enhancement to it as well. Coming back here, I just want to take a peek real quick. All right, still all quiet here. Not much has changed. A few little hiccups, but that's all good. Sometimes I keep this open on my computer to see. All of a sudden, bing! You see this spike going up, and next thing you know, we're having a flare. All right, so that's it for all the scientific weather, volcano, all that great stuff forecasting. And now we'll get on to the spiritual report. The part some of you are here for, and the part some other people tune out. Imagine that. Why would you want to tune out at the best part? Well, I guess if you don't consider it the best part. Oh, wait, we gotta open up my channel here. Oh, please, Lord. One step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. It's getting down to like one moment at a time. And we're going to do our reading tonight. Actually, let's do another video that was hard to see. Oh, we could try this one, I guess. Oh, did I tell you about sharing my channel real quick? When you share my channel, something special happens. It's not just a regular channel and regular sharing. When you share my channel, it not only blesses the person you shared it with, of course, but blesses you for sharing it. That's who it really blesses. It blesses you as well as the person you shared it with, as well as me. Okay? It's a win 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 for everybody. All right. Let's see if we can get this camera to pick up this face right here. Ooh, it's coming in, folks. All right, here we go. I'm going to play this video for you real quick, and then we'll do a spiritual report. Speaker, I guess. Go there. Volume. Can we get a little bit of cooperation? All right, here we go. Oh. Running through the filter and stuff. And not only were we finding angels and Mary and stuff, but there's also demons, and I've also found Satan in this stuff too. So as we're looking here at this picture,
What I'm talking about is in this mosaic of blotchy white dots that you see this picture is comprised of. When you zoom in really tight in on a picture, you'll see that it's made up of these splotchy little patches and dots. These new digital cameras make these little blotches. Well, hiding in these blotches are faces. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's an eye right here and an eye right here. And when you make eye contact with these two eyes right here, you'll see the mouth fall into place down here. It's snarling. If you look, it's got some kind of streaks or horns or something or wrinkles coming out of its head up here. And this is some kind of demon or principality. You know, other people refer to them as principalities, but this is what I'm talking about. And hopefully you can see this here. This is a pupil right here of an eye. This is a pupil of a bigger eye. Here's the whites of the eye, the white of this eye. These two eyes. Once you look at those, you'll see it falls into place. Maybe I'll pull back a little bit. You can see a little bit better. Zoom in. Right about there is good. And you can make out there's teeth here in this mouth. There's a corresponding mouth with these eyes, wrinkles going across the nose here. This is some kind of demon or principality. And it's tucked in the way in the corner of this picture, way back up in here. And you can't even see it as in a normal picture, but you zoom in, swing it over, zoom in, and you can see this face just appear. And there's more faces in this stuff too, but this one's really, really defined and pretty dominant in this picture. So I want to start off with that one. Hopefully you guys can see this one. Okay. So in this sequence here, I've got my camera pointed at the couch now because I've been capturing activity around this couch. And one night I was just sitting on my couch there praying and wasn't really thinking of capturing anything. Here I was just sitting here praying before I started taking pictures or doing my thing, and it was already running. And lo and behold, there's some kind of demon up here. You'll see some green wings over here kind of flapping, and it lifts up my bike and spits a bolt of energy on it. And I had no idea this happened until I went back through my pictures and stuff. And I put this series into motion in a flip book. And I realized, oh my goodness, look what happened. It picked up my bike and spit a bolt of energy on it. This one, you can't really see the face too well, but you can make out the wings kind of flapping. We'll pull it over this way a little more. There we go. And this thing turns, picks up my bike, lifts it up, and spits a bolt of energy on it.
Ooh, you almost see the face there.
I'll let you look at that one for a second longer.
Ooh, you almost see the face now. Oh, whoa.
Okay, in this series here, I'm sitting on the couch again praying, the camera's set up, and you'll see a purple streak, a bolt come in here, right there, boom. And it hurt. You can see my reaction to it. So we'll let it run again. Here I am sitting here praying. There's all kinds of stuff jumping around in the background, and then zap right there. And that was a real one. I could feel it. And now when I go back, we're going to go back to the top of that bolt and zoom in on the face. Okay, so here's the frame out of that sequence of me getting hit with that bolt. You can see the bolt coming down here. It's got a kind of a purple hue to it or whatever. And then we're going to start zooming in to the face up top here, and it's going to be Satan's face. So you guys ready to see this? If not, you might want to stop the video at this point. But I do not glorify this at all. I do not like to give him attention, but it's important to know that he's real, because he wants everybody to think that he's not real. I think you might be able to see this face without me pointing anything out yet. There we go. Okay, so let me zoom out so I can see it. If you look right here at this eye, this is his crazed eye. The other on the other side is bigger. It's the all-seeing eye. It's a little out of proportion, but then you can make out the side of his face, his jawline coming down, the bottom of his chin, his face going up here. Here's his mouth with some evil kind of grin on it. You can see his ear coming out over here. You can make out horns coming up. And this is in that mosaic of dots again, but these faces pop out and they're more prominent. You can see that this one really stands out. And that's Satan right there. You can even make out some wings coming up here. And he's mad. He's mad because I'm praying. And he's spitting bolts of energy at me and spitting on my bike and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's important that you guys know that this entity is real. He's here right now, causing chaos all over the place. I'm sure you guys can see that. And I'm not doing this to scare you. I'm just doing this to inform you guys that this is what I'm capturing. And this stuff is real. And you can see it attacking me. Just another few seconds here on this guy so you can see his face. Make out his ear over here, corresponding horns, eyes, smile, everything. That's Satan right there with his wings, spitting some kind of bolt or something at me. Bam. Okay, so that's it for this little.
All right, so maybe the camera captured that a little bit better. Hopefully it didn't. You guys really don't need to be seeing that stuff, but it's part of what I'm capturing, and it's important that you know that both realms are real. Heaven and hell are real. Okay, demons and angels are real. It's not just all heaven and all angels. There is Satan and demons and hell. Okay, that's the only reason why I showed that, is just to reiterate that point. Now, let's get away from those ugly images and get over to our beautiful Savior here, who just, he's amazing. So many times he's delivered me in my life. Uh, I can't, I can't even go through all of them. But that's,
You're in the driver's seat.
I bet some of you have testimonies too of how he's delivered you. All right, where are you going to play this to? So,
I know there's a lot of activity going on the sun, but I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I
on
captured
Easter,
what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. That crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head, too. And once you see that image, we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay. And this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event. And I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images and that this event, is taking place here because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here. where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with a nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. Now, this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been compressed, each frame, and then put into a flip book. And you can clearly see Jesus's face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there. Okay? And this happened back around Easter of 2020. So with Christmas right around the corner, I think, I just wanted to bring some hope to you folks and show you that, it's really real. It's really happening. And, you guys can look up into the clouds and take pictures just like I do and possibly capture something like this. So as a little gift to you guys, I can't give much, but I can at least give some of this information, some of these images that I've captured as a gift to you guys to bring some hope here around this season.
All right, we're going to freeze frame there on that image right there and do our reading. I know some of you have been enjoying these readings. All right, hang on, give me a second here. I got to get it all in the right order again. I tried to do this before the show, and for some reason, forces come in here and disrupt my pattern. All right, let's try again here. All right. Refresh yourself in the peace of my presence. This peace can be your portion at all times and in all circumstances. Learn to hide in the secret of my presence, even as you carry out your duties in the world. I am both with you and within you. I go before you to open up the way, and I also walk alongside you. There could never be another companion so devoted as I am. Because I am your constant companion, there should be no lightness, there should be a lightness to your step that is observable to others. Do not be weighed down with problems and unresolved issues, for I am your burden bearer. In the world you have trials and distress, but don't let them get you down. I have conquered the world and deprived it of power to harm you. In me you may have confident peace. I want you to learn a new habit. Try saying, I trust you, Jesus, in response to whatever happens to you. If there is a time, think about who I am and in all my power and glory, and ponder also the depth and breadth of my love for you. This simple practice will help you see me in every situation, acknowledging my sovereign control over the universe. When you view events from this perspective, through the light of my universal presence, fear loses its grip on you. Adverse circumstances become growth opportunities when you affirm your trust in me, no matter what. You receive blessings gratefully, realizing they flow directly from my hand of grace. Your continual assertion of trusting me will strengthen our relationship and keep you close to me. Be still and know that I am God. Most Christians are familiar with this command, but not so many take it seriously. Yet for those who do, blessings flow like streams of living water. As these believers sit in stillness, focusing on me and my word, their perception of me expands and their troubles shrink in importance. I want you to share in these blessings. So take time with me. While you rest in my presence, I untangle your thoughts and help you view things more biblically. Remember, my word is a lamp to guide your feet and a light for your path. Biblical thinking illuminates the path before you so you can find your way. It's crucial to know not only that I am God, but that I made you and you are mine. You are sheep of my pasture. Sheep have very limited understanding of what their shepherd is doing for them, but they follow him anyway. Similarly, as my sheep, your job is to trust me and follow wherever I lead. Find joy in me, for I am your strength. It is vital to keep your joy alive, especially when you're in those throes of adversity. Whenever you are struggling with difficulties, you need to guard your thoughts and spoken words carefully. If you focus too much on all the things that are wrong, you will become increasingly discouraged and your strength will be sapped. As soon as you realize what is happening, stop this hurtful process immediately. Turn to me, asking me to help you with all of your struggles. Take time to praise me, speak or sing words of worship, read scriptures that help you rejoice in me. Remember that your problems are temporary, but I am eternal, and so is your relationship with me. As you find joy in me, delighting in my unfailing love for you, your strength will increase. This is the joy of the Lord, which is yours for all time and throughout eternity. Okay, hopefully that sunk into a few there. Um, there was notes, I think. Oh, yeah. So, a lot of this climate stuff that's going on, right? We all understand the earthquakes and the reason for our storms increasing and stuff. Here at this channel, we understand that, right? But we got the world who's singing the song of man made climate change. Well, how right they are, but in a way they don't understand. So I'm going to spell it out. See, this is caused by man, by man's iniquity, by people in power in high places. Their iniquity is what's causing this. Right? Now, let's do this forward and reverse thing like I did before. And I'll start off with the weather, all right, is reflective of the activity on the sun. The earthquakes are reflective of the activity on our sun. Yes? No? We all agree as we go through this, right? The volcanoes as well, reflective of activity on our sun. All right? All of these things are happening because of what's happening to the sun. All right? Now, I don't have the sun pulled up, but here we'll go pull up this image right here. Now, this affects our planet. It affects it with the weather. It affects it with the earthquakes. It affects it with all kinds of stuff. Even the human resonance that affects you and your health and migraines and ringing in the ears. All great stuff. Anyways, what's affecting the sun? Well, God is in control of the universe. He's the one who's ultimately affecting the sun, which is ultimately affecting the earthquakes, which ultimately is affecting the volcanoes, Okay, so when we go back to the original source, the original cause for all of this stuff happening, it's because of this man right here and the sacrifice he made and the torture he went through so we could be here and do this. All right. So, um, this climate change is due to man, but it ain't because of his carbon emissions. It's because of the people in power and their iniquity. Okay, that's the real truth. So when they're telling you, "Oh, it's man-caused climate change," you can kind of go, "Yeah, men like, oh boy." We're not going to go around accusing and listing names, but I think we all can understand the type that we're talking about. Okay. So I think that's it for tonight. Was that it, Lord? You gave me notes. The climate change thing, yeah. The polar vortex thing. Oh, the new Pledge of Allegiance again. So, I pledge allegiance to the Lord who rescues the United States of America, and in order for the Republic to stand as one nation under God, we need to be indivisible if we want liberty and justice for all. All right, that's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I'll be back. I'm already back, can't you tell?